walking barefoot right now. Walking barefoot has a lot of benefits, but the main reason I'm doing it is so I can toughen up my feet. Because how many people can say they can walk on rocks without it hurting? It'd be quite a pretty interesting skill to have. What I've noticed about my spiritual journey is that my higher self, God, the universe, the Holy Spirit, whatever it is to you, it's all the same thing. The words change, but the self doesn't change. The self just perceives it in different ways at different points in their life. I'm quite a lonely person. Like, I have friends, right? And if you guys are watching this right now, I love you guys. Egg Soda, you guys are awesome, right? But we're not on the same sort of wavelength. We don't have the same perspectives and ambitions in life. And that's okay. You can still be friends with people who aren't necessarily walking the same path you are. You just won't be able to build a very strong bond with them the same way you would with, someone who thinks like you and does what you do. I've had two relationships in my life. Both were good. I can't complain. These two girls taught me a lot about life and myself. And my ego is very lonely. I just want a connection with somebody. And it doesn't have to be intimate. Just like a friend who sees the world the way I see it and who wants to grow and evolve the same way that I want to. And I'm only 21 years old, so I've got many years of people to meet who will match that energy that I'm looking for. They say that God puts you in solitude for your own growth so that you can work on yourself so that you're ready to meet the right people. And yeah, I agree with that. It makes sense. Man, I'm so grateful for where I live. I live not in the forest, but very close to it. I would love to live in a forest or in a wee village in the hills next to trees and Munros and waterfalls and lakes, burns, water that you can drink straight from. That would be so cool. I've always wanted to visit Iceland. I say I've always wanted to as if I've literally always wanted to, but I only wanted to visit Iceland up to a few years ago when I realised how cool it is. It's expensive because they have to import everything because they can't grow crops there because it's too cold. I love the cold personally. Well, of course I get cold, I shiver and I don't like it, but I much prefer it to the heat. So when I was in Bali, the heat was, wow, it was really something. Even at night time, it was roasting. What I'd love to do is learn how to identify edible plants. Nettles are edible. These guys here. These guys are edible. If you gently pick them and boil them, you can make a tea out of them, or you can blend them up and make a soup out of them. It's actually really, really nice. But yeah, I'd love to be able to identify plants and eat them. I think that'd be really cool. Quite a handy little skill. One thing I really want to start doing, is going camping, wild camping. I've been camping before, but never by myself. And I'd love to do that because I think I would learn some things. I know how to put up a tent now. I only learned that recently. So I kind of know how to do it. I don't really know how to build a fire. I'm working on that. Actually, that's a lie. I'm not working on it. I've not attempted to build a fire in a long time. But I will learn that at some point. Can't be that hard, right? Just need some fire start and stuff, but the ego wants to do it all naturally and not use paper or paraffin or anything flammable. Just do it with a stick and a rock. But that's like a really difficult thing to do, and you need to be very patient in order for that to work. But it would be a very cool skill. There's Neds over there. Hopefully they'd leave me alone. Hopefully I can walk past them and they don't like try and jump. I've been jumped before, it's not a fun experience. I was just walking about the town, not the town, the town, with my friends, and these boys started following us, and one of them, like eventually after about 20 or 30 minutes of them just following us, one of them came up behind me and punched me in the back of the head, and I don't know how I done it, but I just went ape mode, and I just obliterated 3 of them, and then the other ones kind of backed off, if I remember it correctly. I don't know how I done that. That was the last fight I was in, and that was years ago. And kind of ever since then, I've started training because I'm scared. I work out because I'm scared of other humans. Human beings are evil, and some of them just want to hurt you for no reason. And I know what that's like, because when I was in primary school and high school, people just wanted to fight me all the frickin' time. I don't get it why. I don't get why. It was really annoying. And I got in trouble for defending myself, which is typical, isn't it? There's like so much to be grateful for in life. There's things to not be grateful for because the world does suck and it's a little bit stinky, but there are good things in it. But the reason why the sucky, stinky stuff exists is so that we can grow, so that we can see the contrast of good and evil, and so that we choose good. Because what's a wave that only goes up and has to come down? What is white on a white canvas? You need black to see the white, or white to see the black. It goes both ways. This bit's a little bit tricky. I don't want to stand on a nettle, because standing on a nettle barefoot is not fun. Big step here, there we go. So, I'm still barefoot. That's fine. I'm still barefoot, I'm walking on rocks and stuff. My feet are getting stronger. I used to do this more regularly, but I've only started doing it again because I feel called to. Also, I have very sensitive feet. Like, I am very, very, very ticklish, and I want to fix that. And I believe by walking on rocks it will help me with that. That would be really cool. I think I've said everything I want to say for now. Don't know what I'll title this video, but you already know the title because you're watching it. So I'm not going to end the video yet. I'm just going to keep walking and see if anything else comes to mind. Just enjoy this walk with me. If you have nature nearby, you should spend time in it, because it really opens your heart to yourself, and you get to know yourself more when you spend time with nature. Makes you appreciate life and makes you appreciate your freedom. Because I was locked away for 3 months because of my psychosis, and that was awful. I remember cherishing every leaf I managed to collect. I remember I was actually locked in my room, and I asked the staff to bring me a leaf because I was so deprived of touching green stuff. And they wouldn't give me a leaf. They wouldn't do it. So I got one myself when I was eventually let out. And I just took it back to my room and cherished it. It's quite sad, but it just shows you what isolation can do to a man or woman. I'm trying to practice nasal breathing more, breathing through my nose. I've got asthma, so I want to strengthen my lungs, but smoking this vape is certainly not helping it. But you know, I'm only human. I've quit weed, I've quit alcohol, hopefully for good. I might go back to it, we'll see. I don't like making promises to myself or to God. I don't like doing that because I can change like that, you know. The devil is always on my shoulder. You know, God and the devil are the same. It's the same energy expressing itself in different ways. We've just kind of given the label God and devil, but it's the same thing. It's just a different perspective on life. Do you choose good or do you choose bad? Choose good. Always choose good if you can help it. I know the devil can be rather tempting. Very, very tempting. But that's how it wins. Through temptation. And taking advantage of your human desires. For lust or greed. Pride. Gluttony, whatever it may be. Here's my shoes, I've got them strapped to my thing. Just in case I need to whip them out and quickly put them on, because you never know who's going to start running at you with a 5-inch blade. That's how my brain thinks. I'm constantly on guard for evil human beings. Even though I don't encounter them very often, I'm still afraid of that potential encounter. Excuse me. Okay, I'm almost at the bridge. There's a little burn here, so I'm going to rinse my feet, put my shoes on and just chill for a wee bit. I'll stop recording once I put my feet in the water. But yeah, if you've actually sat through this whole video, I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. I'm glad that you find value in what I have to say, because that's all I want to do. I want to help people in any way I can. There we go. Oh, that's lovely. That's all I have for you now. Stop getting high on YouTube and start getting high on life. May the universe guide you.